Yeah, so before starting the today's concepts, let's try to recollect it, what we were discussing yesterday. And then we look into that today also some more concepts on the iteration side. Yeah, so we are discussing on iterators. Yes, good. Yeah, so let me just conclude that what we had it yesterday, then we move into that. Just okay. Yeah, so yesterday we were working with that, especially the for loop. So how do we implement the for loop? Yes, this is the for loop implementation. Yeah, the for the variable name, and that's next keyword which we need to use it in. So for is the keyword, in is the keyword. And between that we need to define the variable name, and after the in keyword we need to define that the collection object. Yeah, what are like the items which are going to read it, or the number of times, how many times that you want to iterate it the same block of the code. So that is, that's we can define that in the fourth attribute. Yeah, total 4 attributes of the for loop. For is the keyword, inbuilt keyword. Then variable, we can define that's about our custom variable. Then in is the keyword, inbuilt keyword, and then collection object. Yeah, and it has to start that for loop like with the colon. Yes, even that if else blocks also we are understanding that colon with the indentation. Indentation is going to play very important role in the Python. Then what's the for loop is going to do that? It is going to do that iterating of this collection object. So in that iteration, so each item it is going to take it and assigning to this variable. And that variable we can use it and we can implement about our business logic or statements. Yeah, that is about the for loop which we are understanding and where we are applying this on the list object or string object. If it is the string object, what it is going to do that? It is going to return the characters, sequence of the characters. Or if it is a list object, it is going to use that index number based. It starts from the 0 and one by one item, it is going to take it and it is going to assign to this variable, and we can use it that variable to define the logic or statements. Or we are understanding that's with the dictionary also. So how do we use that, the iterating of that dictionary items? But dictionary is going to return in the format of the key value. By default, it returns the key, but we can get that items. So each item in the format of the tuple. Yeah, so this item is in the format of the tuple. The tuple, you can use it. Or we can get that the values also. That means like as we're understanding the salaries to get it, yes. The dictionary dot values, dictionary dot items, or if you need the only keys. And in that items also, we are saying about it, it is going to return the tuple, but the tuple also we can unpack it. But how do you unpack it is, so this is the model we are talking about it. Yeah, dictionary, the each item is having that 2 items, right? So in the tuple concept, it is 2 items. So the key is 1 item and value is another item. So those 2 items, we can catch it into the variables, and those variables we can use it within the for loop. Yeah, so there are the points that we are trying to understand it. How do you unpack that? Yes, even we can define about our own list, and list can have the tuple with 3 element, 3 items of the tuple. Then we can use it that each tuple to get those items. So this one we say that unpacking of that the tuple. Are you clear about these points? And do you have any queries, questions? Please let me know before moving to this next one more type of the iterator, that is while loop. Yes, any queries, questions? Please let me know. And have you done that the practice or not? Yeah, these are all very, very important, and get that more concept and more concentrate on this. Like if you are going to face that interview, or if you're going to learn that next any kind of the Python libraries or modules or the packages, we have the dependency on these the each statement which we are talking that. So please confirm that everyone. I mean, I didn't receive this any confirmation. So the only one or two members. So are you good to go ahead to this next? Shall we go ahead? Yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah, now I see there's some response. Good. Okay, so how do you implement that while loop? So total, as we're trying to understand that in the iterations, I have mentioned anywhere, yes, iterations are the loops. We have the two types of the loops. One is for loop and second one is while loop. For loop, we are understanding that. So it is having the four arguments. The for, variable, in, and collection object. That is the syntax of it. But what about the while loop? How do we define this while loop? Yeah, so this is also like, the syntax, if you try to understand the first, let me define the first syntax, while, and then we define the condition. If the condition is true, it is going to enter into that block of the while loop. As we know that indentation, as four spaces, we use it, and then we define that statement one, statement two. It's same kind of like a for loop how we are defining this. Yeah, simple and straightforward, very clear cut compared with the for loop. For loop is on the total four arguments, but here it is the while, and then you can define the conditions. Conditions we are trying to understand already in the logical operators, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or equals or not equals, or the true or false. So they're all like a different the logical operators which we can use it while defining the condition. Yeah, the while condition. That means this condition is true, it is going to enter into this block. Otherwise, it is going to skipping the block. Fine, let's take this example. Then we can get that clarity of it. Suppose I would like to print that 1 to 10 numbers. So I need to print 1, 2, 3, 4. Like this, we need to print it up to 10. So yesterday, have we discussed in the for loop this kind of the concept? No, right? We didn't discuss about that in the for loop. For loop, we are talking that you have the collection object. From the collection object, how do we get that items? Whether that is string or tuple or dictionary or whatever it is, how do we unpack it? The items from the collection object. That's we were understanding that most of the cases the for loop. But today we are going to discuss about the while loop. But in which context do we use the while loop? Yeah, I need to print this now the requirement as that the some range of the numbers, that is 1 to 10 or 1 to 100 or 1 to 1000, whatever it is, the range. How do I use it that? So what is the condition here? We need to print up to 10. Suppose first, if I talk it about that, the number should, whenever that number, like, let me take it that, initially the number should be the 0. If the number is less than or equal to 10, is less than or equal to 10. Here we can use it less than or equal to. What we are expecting? Start from the 1 and print up to 10. So if the number is under the control of the 10, then iterate it, then print it. Print out that number. If I run this, what's going to happen? If I run this program, so what's going to happen that? Can you give me the answer? Just think of it. So we have taken this number equal to 0, while number, yes, number is 0. 0 is less than or equal to 10. Okay, yes, that is true. And it is trying to print the number. And again, that's it is going to enter into that the condition. Again, the number equal to 0. 0 is less than or equal to 10. That is true. Then again, it is going to print 0. Or if you like to print, okay, instead of that, the 0, okay, you can start from the 1. Now, actually, we are talking that 1 to 10, right? Okay, first number is 1. What about the second number? In the second iteration, what is the third iteration? What is the fourth iteration? So if you observe that output, what's going to happen that you see that it is entered into that infinite loop. You see this, it is keep on trying to print that 1. Why? Why it is trying to print that 1 and it enters into that infinite loop? It is not ending. Because we are saying that number equal to 1 and 1 is less than or equal to 10. Yes, obviously 1 is less than or equal to 10 and it is entering into this loop and it prints 1. Again, it is going to check the condition. Again, the number is 1. 1 is less than or equal to 10. Yes, that is correct. Again, it is going to print it. It never ends, right? Yes or no? Is it going to ending that? Are you getting the points about it? It never ends because we are not incrementing that. We just initialized always that number equal to 1 only. And that one condition, whatever we have defined, that condition is always true. That's why it is always trying to print it. You see this, it is not ending. So we need to terminate this process. How do we terminate the process? If the program enters into that infinite loop. So here you see that in the run, before that run option, I mean, behind this run option, you see the stop, a red button. That means program is never quitting that. It enters into that infinite loop. Yes, you can click on this, yes, that's, then it is going to exit the for loop. But how do you handle this situation? What do you need to do now? Come on, man. We have some programmers in our team. You are in the mood of this movie. Just we need to go for incrementing this one, right? Else condition, why do we need it? No, we don't need that else condition. So we need to have the increment of that number. Yesterday we were trying to understand that increment. Now first, what is the value? It is going to have it 1. 1 is less than or equal to 10. Is it true or false? 1 is less than or equal to 10. Is it true or false? That is true. Okay, if it is the true, it enters into that while loop. It is going to print the number. Okay, that is 1 will be printed. Then we are incrementing. Number equal to number plus 1. That means number is going to become this now, this time 2. Again, it is going to check it that 2 is less than or equal to 10. Is it true or false? That is true. Again, it is going to enter into that. Yes, it prints that 2. And now it is going to increment 2 by 1. That is 3. Now number has become the 3. Again, it is going to check the condition. 3 is less than or equal to 10. Yes, that is true. Like that, it is going to iterate it. Okay, up to that, the number 10. Okay, 10 is less than or equal to 10. Yes, that is true. Then it is going to print that 10. Then it is incrementing the 10 by 1. That is 11. It is going to become that. Whenever that number has become that 11, 11 is less than or equal to 10. That is false. Whenever it comes to false, it comes back that to out of that while loop. And we can say that would like to finish. Would like to print that, finish the program. So until the while condition is true, these two statements will be executed. But once that while condition is quit, that loop is, whenever it becomes a false, it comes out of the loop. And yes, as we are understanding that indentation, now this print statement is going to executing that. Yes, if I run this program, yes, now you see thus we got it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and after that it has been finished. Are you clear about this importance of the counters? If I don't define this statement, it enters into that infinite loop, which never comes out of it. Suppose if I say that, so now what's going to happen that? What is the output we are going to have it? Can you analyze it now? Can you give me the answer? Think it of it and give me that answer. What's going to happen this now? Okay, good. Error, why it is error? Okay, good. So, you just observe that 1, number value is 1, 1 is greater than 10. Is it true or false? 1 is greater than 10? No, it false. It comes to here and it tries to execute the print statement. That is finished. Let's see this. Yes. It is not entering into the while loop because this condition is failed initial itself. So this case, now what we are going to have it? Can you give me that answer? Now what's going to happen that? Yes, good answers. Yeah, so it's going to print 1 to 9. Whereas we have defined that less than 10. That means whenever that number is 9, fine. 9 is less than 10, that is true. It is coming to here and it is going to try to print the number 9. And then it is trying to assign that or incrementing. So this one, what do we say that? Incrementing in the programming language, increment. This one we say that here, iteration. So if the condition is true, it is coming to that iteration loop. If the condition is false, it is coming out of that the loop. Keywords are the important. And we are talking about it infinite loop. What is that infinite loop? 3 important keywords. Infinite loop, iteration, or iterator, we can say. So here, so while is going to perform that iteration, while is kind of iterator. So on the base of the condition, if the condition is true, it is going to enter into that, the loop, otherwise it is going to quit that. Yeah, iterator. Then what is one more keyword? Increment. Incrementing by 1, incrementing by 2, incrementing by 3. So on the basis of this logic requirement, which we can apply that increment. Suppose if I do that increment by 2, what's going to happen this now? Now what's going to happen that, can you guess that? Can you give me that output? Okay. Okay, fine, good. Anyone else? Think it of it. You need to spend more time on the programming. You need to think it. Not just like copying and pasting and executing the program. Hooray, I got it, that output. No. So this, I mean, how much time you are spending here while analyzing, that is important. That will be more helpful. I can execute it and I can show that output and I can go ahead to the next. But if you think it, what's going to happen that before going to execute this program, then you are going to become that like as an interpreter. Interpreter, what it is going to do internally on the basis of the statements which are defined in this .py file. .py file, if you see the code, then you need to think like as a Python interpreter. And if you see this, that's statements in the .sh file, you need to think like as a shell interpreter. Or if you see this, that's the statements in the .java file, then you need to think like as a Java compiler or Java executor. Yeah, good. I got that answers saying about it. Yes, it is going to print that odd numbers. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. But if I started from 0, what's going to happen there? Even numbers. Yes. So it starts from the 0, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah. So like this, as we're understanding, condition, increment, these two things, that's where we're working with that. And normally, so I'm just moving that increment by 1. Okay, now let me move to this one, that like scenario. I'll take it about it on this while loop, and let me show that. Already we got it this point, but let me talk it. Suppose we have some secret number that is defined within the program, something like 15. So what we are going to take it is, what we are going to implement is, we are going to take that input from the user. Input from the user, that is saying that try to guess the secret number. Try to guess the secret number from 0 to 20. So that means now what we are going to do, that is we are asking that the user to enter that one guess number, one secret number. But actually input is going to written in the format of string, right? We need to convert this one into integer, because secret we are going to verify that with integer. Yeah, now the condition what we are going to do, that is we are going to define that while, okay, true, I'll come back, while. So what we are expecting, user, whatever he is going to enter that number is not equal to secret number. So here, what is the condition we are implementing? Now we have defined within the program one secret number. We have generated one secret number and we are asking us enter the secret number by the user. The user secret number, whatever he is entering that, if it is matches, perfect, he has guessed that secret number. But if it is something he has entered other than that number, then we need to repeat that. We need to repeat until guessing that success number. So that is that like implementation which we are doing that with while. And now we need to print. So whatever keyword he has entered, if that is not equal to secret number, user input, whatever he is entering that, if that is invalid, we are going to entering into that print loop and we are going to say that wrong, the wrong key. And again, we are going to ask that user input. Again, we are going to ask that user one more input, user input. So this has to be, it has to be continued until he's getting that the exact number. Are you getting these points? So if it is successful, that means if it is out of the loop is nothing but, that means he has guessed this number, right? When it is going to quit this while loop, what is this condition? Okay, let me run the program. So if I run this program, now if I enter that, something like 13. What's going to happen that here? Is it success key or wrong key? So input we are entering the 13. So 13 is not equal to 15. Is it true or false? Is it true or false? This statement with this number now, if I enter the 13, is it going to become the true or false? I got the different answers. Someone says that true, someone says that false. So this is true, right? 13 is not equal to 15. Yes, that is true. 13 is not equal to 15. So here not equals to. That is going to become the true. If that is the true, it is going to enter into the while loop. Yes, it is going to print wrong key. And again, it is going to prompt to the user. And now if I enter the 13, that is wrong key, it is saying that. And again, it is asking that's guess number. Okay, if I enter the 16, wrong key. 12, wrong key. 15. Yes, you see that process finished with exit code 0. But what we can do, we can print proper message that is saying that perfect, you have guessed correct number. Yes or no? Are you getting the points about it? Let me use that some space here. So now if the user is going to enter that, the 1, that is wrong. Or if he enters that 100, what's going to happen that? 100, what's going to happen that? Now we are asking this user enter that between 0 to 20. But he is going to enter that Why do I need to enter that only between the 0 to 20? Okay, you have mentioned the secret key 0 to 20, but I will enter the 100. So what's going to happen? That is wrong key. Whether he is going to use that 200 or 2000 doesn't matter that. But we are giving the clue. What is the clue? Enter that, the secret number that is available between the 0 to 20. Are you clear about that? This kind of yes, while loop, in which context we use it that? Type that CLR. So if you could understand about this for loop, while loop. Okay. So next, suppose same thing, like here we are trying to print it 1 to 10, right? Same that output I need to implement it through the for loop. Can I do that? So here yesterday we were talking that the for loop, either string object we are using that, or list or tuple, or how do you unpack the tuple with the for loop, or how do we get that keys or values or items from the dictionary? These are all like activities we are understanding that. But my requirement now, I need to use the for loop to get that, or to print 1 to 10. Can I use it for loop? Can you give me that idea? Can you guess that solution? Okay, yes, we can use the for loop. Okay, good. But how do you define that? What is expecting that? 4 keywords: for, variable, and in, and here collection object. But how do you define this now for loop to get that 1 to 10? So this is actual syntax of the for loop. While is while and then condition, but for loop for variable and in collection object. Yes, you are taking the collection object as a number of items, number of times it is going to iterate that. Yeah, the collection object in the numbers, how do we define it? Yesterday we were talking that only on string data type or list data type, tuple or dictionary. But now we are going to understand that on the integer data type, 1 to 10 or 1 to 100 or 1000, whatever that. So if you need that, this kind of the range of the numbers, that is 1 to 10, that is a range, right? Yes, what is the function that we can use it? Yes, range is the function which is available. Yeah, for variable in. So instead of saying this now, instead of saying that variable, I'm going to say this one as number. Or you can use it any name, that is about your choice. As we know that this variable name you can define as per about our convenience, or that the business logic which you are implementing, you can use it that suitable name. Yeah, range. But what is the range I would like to use it is? Let me define that. The range as 11. That means as we know that the slicing concept, right? Slicing, which takes a starting, colon, and colon, increment. 3 arguments we have that. Same thing in the range also is available. By default, if you give that, this is the range. But will it be included or excluded? Let me try to print that. Then we can understand that. So what's going to happen that? So it is not included and it is excluded. So now you see that we got that output starting from the 0. Okay, ending expected. Okay, as expected, 10 we got it. And finally, let me try to print this finished. After this loop completes, then I would like to print finished. Okay. The same while loop, whatever we are doing, but I'm trying to do that with for loop. Okay, finish. But what is, I mean, if you just observe that 1 to 10, we got it, fine. But here 0 also has been included. And if you observe that whatever I have defined that 11, the last number has been excluded. Even the second argument in the slicing, if you remember that, that is excluded value, you need to specify that. First argument is included value. But actually range, if you just observe that, yeah, you have the different arguments in this. So how do we use it like a starting number? Now I need to, it has to start from the 1, not from the 0. So use it starting from 1, comma. In the slicing, we use the colon, and here we use it that comma. There are like arguments we are passing that. So I'm going to pass that the first argument, second argument. Second argument is until. But until this is going to excluding that. Now let me run this. Yes, we see that now we got it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Simple range. So from where do you want to start it? Suppose if I say this 10, what's going to happen that? Now can you give me the output? So is it going to print only 10 or 10 and 11? Only 10, right? As we're talking about it, 11 will be excluded. Once 10 has been printed, then it is doing automatic increment. Then it is become the 11. 11, we didn't ask that. We are asking that's only up to 10. Suppose if you need that up to 11, then you need to give that 12. Are you getting my points? Now it has given that a 10 and 11. But we need that only up to 10. Okay, here, this is the starting point. This is the end minus 1 point, end point, but minus 1, that is excluded. And now third argument is, suppose here we are talking that increment, either by default increment, I am doing that 1. But we can go for that printing their only odd numbers, printing their only even numbers, right? By incrementing 2. So here also in the range function, you can use the third argument, that is increment. By default, it is using that increment by 1. But if I say that the 2, starting from the 1 and increment by 2 until that 10. Now you see this, what's going to happen that. Now you see this, we got it odd numbers, right? Yes or no? Are you getting the points about it? Suppose I need that only even number starting from the 2. Yes, no, you can use that starting point to 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, we got it that. Or starting from the 0, yes, you can define that starting from the 0. 0, it starts, and 0 to 10, all the even numbers. So it is kind of the same slicing option. Slicing also starting point, end point, but minus 1, and increment. The same thing, range is that one function which is available for the integers, which we can use it in the iterations. Are you clear about this range function? Okay, so the same, like whatever we are trying to do that with while loop. The while especially, yes, these kind of the conditions to evaluate it, we use it. But yesterday for loop, we are talking about it the most of this time with the collection objects working, items unpacking from the collection objects. That's we are trying to use a for loop, but for we can use it on the range of the numbers also. Are you good? Are you clear these points? Okay, let me talk it that two more important keywords which we need to understand in the iterations. Two more important keywords, that is break and continue. Do you know about these two? Any program, if you know that is Java or C program. Yes, in the iterations with the for loop and while loop, we should know these two more keywords also. So what is the break and what is the continue? When do we use these keywords? They're all like a pre-built, inbuilt keywords from the Python. As we're talking that the for is inbuilt keyword, while inbuilt keyword. In the for, whatever we are talking that in is that inbuilt keyword. Like that, break and continue, two more keywords which are available. Okay, let me define that one scenario. While true. What's going to happen here? If I run this program, what's going to happen that? Yeah, true is also keyword if you just observe that. So it is changing to that some kind of orange color, which is indicating that inbuilt keyword. So what's going to happen that here? Can you guess that? Can you give me that output? Already we are observing this scenario before. Yes, good. I got it. Some answers, some responses. Good. Infinite loop. We are defining that a true keyword. That means always this condition is a true. If it is always this condition is true, it is going to enter into that print and it never comes back out. You see the series hello, 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 hello. So it never ends. The processor. So the program is running is nothing but backend processor is executing. Processor is executing is nothing but it is going to consume the CPU and memory. CPU that is to process it and memory to store that all the objects are all like the variables which are defined in the program. So it is doing that process is doing this activity is nothing but yes, it's required some kind of capacity that is CPU. So it never quits this. So it enters into infinite loop. So what do you need to do? You need to terminate it. Okay. So this is actually while true is nothing but that is infinite loop. Let me define that one use case here. Suppose user has to enter his name. Enter your name. Your name or enter exit to close the program. So we are giving the options to the user, enter either about your name or use that exit keyword to exit from the program. Let me give that 0 like caps or small or whatever it is. So here user is going to give that input. What is the input he is going to give that? Name of the user, we are going to take it that. Okay, good. And print the name. So print the name. Okay. Yeah, I would like to print the name. And after printing that, so if he enters that, like, what is the point we're talking about it? So what is the keyword? When we are going to quit this one, we are giving the control to the user. If I try to run this one, so it never quits, right? It is going to enter into that infinite loop because we have defined that infinite loop that is a true. But on which condition I need to break this loop? On which condition we need to break the loop? If he is going to ask that exit from this terminal, then we need to quit the program. We need to quit this from this loop. Obviously, if you quit from the loop, then obviously the program also will be ended. So if I say that, that means like whatever the user input he is going to give that, if that's name. So on which condition we need to define that? Name is equal to exit. Then what do we need to do that? That means what he is asking that, okay, let me go ahead and print this one after this. Maybe he can enter that the name, or maybe he can enter exit keyword. Both options we have, right? But we don't want to print here. So whatever he has entered that, if it is the name, we will print it the name. But if he enters as exit, then we need to quit from this loop. How do you quit this loop? How do you come out of this loop? What is the keyword that we use? It is break. So break is a keyword to quit from the particular loop. On the basis of the particular condition is reached, then we would like to break it. Yeah, let's run this program. Enter about your name or exit to close the program. Okay, I'm going to enter that RNS. Yes, it is showing that RNS. Again, it is going to, I mean, this is the true, it never ends. It never ends the program. And again, suppose I'm going to enter that like rise. Again, it is asking that. But if I enter that exit, now it has been exited that the process and it is out of this, the program itself. So if we'd like to quit from the particular program, then we can use the break statement. Not from the program, particular loop. Suppose if I give that the print. So I exited the loop. So whenever you give that exit, let me convert this one into that name dot upper. Whether he is going to enter that like small cases or upper cases, doesn't matter that. We need to convert to that upper because we are writing that the condition on the base of this upper tick, upper string, right? Uppercase letters. Yeah, so let's run it RNS. Okay, so it is printing that RNS. And again, it is asking the name, tech. Okay, it is asking that's again the name. If I say that exit with the small letters, yes, exited from the loop. Whether you enter that exit small or uppercase or doesn't matter that it has been handled in all the possible cases. Are you clear about the break statement? When do we use the break? So you have this iteration, but in that iteration, if the particular condition has been met, we don't want to continue that iteration. We'd like to quit from that iteration. Then what you can do that is you can use the break in that condition. If this is true, then we are breaking the loop. Are you clear about these points? Interesting, very, very important. This is about break statement. But what about the continue? When do we use the continue? Are you good with this? Understand the break statement? Now let me define that continuous statement, one example. I'll take the for loop here. So we are trying to print that like some number, right? Number in range. Let me give that from 1 to 20. I would like to print it. Yes, 1 to 20, I would like to print it. But within that's 1 to 20, if there any number which is the multiples of that 5, then I don't want to print that number. So if you have that any number which is multiple of 5, we don't want that number. Remaining numbers we need it. That means if you're talking about that 1 to 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, but 5 should not be printed output. Then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 should not be. 10 is multiple of 5. Then 11, 12, 13, 14, but it should not print to 15. Then 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 is multiple. No, it should not print it. Then how do you handle these cases? First of all, how do you check it like whether the number is division, I mean, multiple of this, the 5 or not? If you remember that in the arithmetic operators, we are talking about it. Modulus. Modulus, what it is doing that? Yes, modulus. It is going to return the remainder, right? If the remainder equal to 0, we're dividing the number divided by 5, but if it is written that the remainder is 0, then that is multiples of the 5. Okay, so what is the condition which we are going to define? That says, if that number, whenever we divide it by with the 5, if it is written the 0, then do you want to print it or you don't want to print it? What do you want to do? That number, do you want to print it or you don't want to print it? Come on, man. So do you want to print it or you don't want to print it? So we don't want to print it. If you don't want to print it, is nothing but just say that continue. That means what's going to happen this is, so whenever this condition is true, then it is not going to quit the loop, but it is going to move to the next iteration. It is not going to do any operation here. The loop will be moved to that next iteration. But if it is the number is not divided by 5, what do you want to that? We want to print it, right? Print the number. Are you clear about this point? Okay, first, what is the value we are going to have the number? Type that, I mean, that's each one. What is the value of the in the first iteration? Number value? 1. Okay. 1 modulus of the 5. What is that like value we are going to get it here? What is the remainder we are going to have it? Doesn't matter that, but let me know that equals operator, we can apply that on the float and integers, right? We can check it. Okay, definitely it is going to return, I mean, the remainder, it is integer itself. Suppose if I try to print that, let's observe that. Print number modulus of the 5. Yeah, what's going to have it? That is 1. 1 equal to 0? No, that is not true. Then it is coming to that this statement. It is going to print the number. That is 1 will be printed. Next iteration 2. Number equal to 2. 2 modulus of the 5. What is it? Like, what is the value? That is a 2. 2 is equal to 0? No. Continue. Sorry. 2 equal to 0 is nothing but false. It is coming to this statement. So it is going to print the number 2. Then next iteration 3. 3 modulus 5. That is a 3. 3 equal to 0? No. So it is going to print the 3. Then 4. 4 will be printed. 5. 5 modulus 5. Yes, that is 0. 0 equal to 0. That is true. Whenever this is true, it is going to execute this statement. What we are saying that what is the control we are doing that? Continue. Don't do that any operation. Continue to the next iteration. The next iteration 1 will be incremented. That is 6. Now 6 modulus 5. That is 1. 1 equal to 0? No. It comes to here and it prints this. Like that, it will be iterated up to. Okay, this program is also there. Let me comment this. Yeah, now as we are trying to print this like modulus of that. 1 modulus of the 5, 1. Then finally it has been printed 1. 2 modulus 5, 2. It is printed 2. 3 modulus 5, that is 3. 3 equal to 0. That is false. It is entered and it is printed 3. 4. And next 5 modulus 5, that is 0. We got it, but it is not printed that value. 5 is not printed here. Then it is moving to the next iteration 6. 6 modulus 5, that is 1. Yes, that is a printed 6. 7, 8, 9, 10 is not printed. 11 is printed. Because why the 10 is not printed? 10 modulus 5, that is a 0. 0 is returning 0 equal to 0. That is true. It is continuing to the next iteration. So if you like to skip the particular iteration, we can use the continue. Skipping. Are you clear about this continue statement? Type that if you understand this the continue statement. They're very, very interesting, like a programming. So more examples you do that, the more interest you will get it. But if you don't know that the more examples, then you will get the fear of the programming. If I just say that with one condition and if I move to the next one without giving that all these different examples, then you don't get that like imagination of this, like all the examples. You don't get the confidence on it. So more examples, you need to practice it. Simple. Okay, so there's like today, what you need to do is, or let me try to implement it. Multiplication table. So we need to print multiplication table, 1 to 10. There are 10 multiplication tables, and each table 1 to 10, we need to print it. How do you do that? Anyone can think it of that? Or do you want to explain that? Type the T or E. T for time, that is I'm going to wait for that 1 minute. Or do you want to explain by me? So say that E. T or E, what do you want that? Do you want to try it about yourself? Thinking of that 1 minute? Or do you want to explain it to me? Say that quickly. Okay. Okay, anyway, let me go for this explanation. So here, what we are saying that we need to print 10 tables, and each table, 10 tables we need to print it, and each table, 1 to 10. That is 10 ones, 10, 10 ones or 10 twos, 10 threes are like the 6 ones, 6 twos up to 6 tens, like a 10 tens. So total 10 tables we need to print it, and each table should contain us 1 to 10. How do you do that? This functionality. Okay, first let's try to print that first 10 tables. We need to take the first 10 tables, right? What we can do for loop? So I'm going to refer that as A is the first table name. Which table that you are going to print it, thus I'm going to just represent A in. How many do we need that? What is the range we are expecting? 1, 11, right? The print, yeah. So what we are expecting here, it is going to try to get that 1 to 10. Okay, now each table, what I need to do, 1 into 1, 1 into 2, 1 into 3, 1 into 4. That's result we need to print it that. Yes, sir. Now, what is the next statement? Now I got it 1. Okay, once I got the 1, then I need to repeat it. That 1, 1 into 1, 1 into 2, 1 into 3, like that up to 10 times. That result I need to catch it and I need to print it. So we need to use it one more for loop here or not? Yeah, within the loop, we need to use it. One more loop, that is inner loops or multiple loops. Let me take it another loop, that is a B. And here also range, we need that 1 to 10, right? Here also we need to print 1 to 10. Suppose if I take the B, now what's going to happen that first A will be printed, then it enters into that, then it iterates 10 times. Then next it is going to that second iteration. It is going to become the 2. Then 2 will be printed. But again, the 2 within the 2, it is going to iterate the 10 times. That is we are expecting this, right? Yes or no? How many times do you want to repeat that same thing? Yes, this is a first table. First table, how many times do you want to iterate it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, then second iteration, that is second table. It went into that this loop, and A has become this now 2, and the 2 has been printed. But now again, it is going to do that 10 times. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. Okay, once this has been completed, okay, these block statements have been completed. Next, it is going to do that iteration in the A table. It is going to become the 3 now. Yes, 3 has been printed. But again, here it is going to do that 10 times. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Then once it has been completed, then it is coming to the range as next, which are that the 4. 4 has been printed here. Are you getting the points on this? Now, simple, what we need to do, I don't want to print all these unnecessary things. But here I would like to print A, comma, A, I would like to print it. And what is the format I need it? Like multiplication, right? We use that X. So this side space and this side space, comma, A into B. Yes, B we need to print it, comma. Then what do you want that? Equals, comma. And here we would like to perform the multiplication operation. That is A asterisk B. Is it done? Yes or no? Let's execute this. Awesome. We got it, that multiplication table. See, that's 1 into 1, 1 twos, 1 threes, 1 tens. Next, 2 ones, 2 twos, 2 threes, up to 210. 3 third table, fourth table, fifth table, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got it or not? Simple with the 3 lines. So if after this one table to another table, if you need that gap, then where do I need to give that the gap? That is something, the space I need that. Then here use that the print statement. Then we'll get that more clarity between that one table to another table, some space, yes. So here it has been started the 10th table. Here it has been started 9th table, 8th table, 7th table. You can use it some format options here. You can do the format. Awesome, right? Are you good with this, understanding this logic? Hey, come on, man. Do you understand this program? Amazing things we can do that. If you like that, the programming. Now, suppose if I need the 100 tables, what I need to do? Just to specify that 101 here, right? And run it. Up to 100 tables, we got it. That is about our choice, like given that range. Yes, systems are ready to give that output. What you need it, identify about your requirement, and use these control statements and get that or generate that output. Yes, in the shell also you can do. That is you are going to learn in the shell script. Are you clear inner loops? This is about inner loop program. So first this table, first this loop, and this loop it has been taken, and the next another loop. Once this loop completes, then it is coming to the sectional loop, one increment. And if this condition is true, then again entering into that inner loop. Yeah, so that is about the inner loops, for loop, while loop, with a break and continue statements. Break is just to quit the loop on the base of the condition, and continue is to skip the current iteration. It will be skipped the current iteration and it is moving to that next iteration. That is a continue. We are saying that to the controller or interpreter, continue to the next iteration. Don't do anything, continue to the next iteration. If you have this kind of the situation in the iterations, then try to use the continue keyword. Okay, if the condition met, suppose you are trying to set some files. File has been found. So you have that 100 files. Within that, like 45th file, you are looking about it. Whenever you are looking at the 45th file, yes, you need to stop that, right? Searching that remaining files. You don't need that. You can stop that searching operation or iteration operation. Then what is the keyword that you can use it? That search can be stopped. Stopped is nothing but what is the keyword in the iterations? That is about break. Break it, the loop. Okay, let me talk it. That's one more example here. So whenever we are using that if block, if and then condition, and then define the statement here. Then go back and use that else block and use that else statement. So this is actually if else block implementation. But same the else, whatever we are using that in the if else block statement, same else we can use it in the while loops. Let me define that one example. The while, let me define that. Okay, so let me try to print it. Number is equal to something 1 and number is less than 5. Then print number. This one already we know that. So if the number less than the 5, we are trying to print it that number. How many numbers it is going to print it? Yes, good. That is infinitive, but you need to add this statement. Number plus or equal to 1. Okay, then else block, what I'm going to try to do that is, in the else, I'm just defining that. This is the else block. So is it the OK statement or not? First of all, the interpreter has accepted the statement or not? Actually, else block I have defined. Before we are talking about only while loop. This one, sorry. This one we are trying to understand that while loop. This is good. No issues. As it is trying to print starting from the 1 up to 4. Because we have defined that less than, but if you give the less than or equal to, then you will get it 1 to 5. Okay. But what we have defined, here we are defining the else block. So what is this else here? If this is true, it is entering into this. But in case this is the false, it is coming to that else block. Yes, if you have this, the while condition, if that condition is not met, but if you would like to print some value else block, while is kind of the condition, right? How we are doing that if condition, if the condition is true, it is entering to this one. But if the while condition is a false, I would like to handle some case or some statements, then you can use it else block. But else block is here, it is optional. This is not mandatory. Even if block also, else is optional. If so and so, do this, or else do this, then you are going to use the else block. But if you see this, whenever I run it, yes, it is a printed 1 to 5, and even that else block also has been executed. So when it is executed else block, whenever it quits from this while loop. Suppose if I define the 6, what's going to happen that? Now what it is going to print in that? Is it going to enter the while loop? Is it going to enter the while loop? No, right? It is not going to enter the while loop. Then what is the block? Else block will be executed. Why you are taking the time for this? Else block will be executed straightforward. If this is the false, else block. If it is the true, it enters into that. But after some specific time, it is going to become that the false. Whenever it becomes the false, else block will be executed. Are you clear about that else with the while? Are you good, everyone? So understanding these points. Type that CLR, everyone, quickly in the chat window. I don't see that. If you say this, if you're okay, then I'll talk about that, some functions on this. In the for loop and while loop, we have some functions, some keywords. I'll talk about those keywords. Okay, good. So let me go ahead. I mean, now here the point is with the while, we can define the else block also, but else is optional. But if you'd like to handle that, if that while condition is the false, in the false case, that means if this condition is a failed, what do you want to do that? Or if you have those any statements, then you can use it else block. And in the else, you can define about your statements. But else will be executed only one time. When it will be executed, whenever this condition will be failed. Okay, so that is about the one more example. With the break, continue, understanding that inner loops. And yes, the while loop with some use cases. Fine. Now let's move into that. Suppose I have the requirement like this, like yesterday we are using some list, right? Let me take it that one of the list. Okay, top cities. Yeah, so this is a list. And in this list, like for item or for city, the where we are talking about it, top cities. But now my use cases is, so this next block of the statements, now I don't have this any plan to implement it. Or thinking about it, this block of the statement is not my scope. That means it has to be handed over to other developer. So I'm going to comment to the coder. So work this on next week. Something I would like to define like this, but this activity I'm not going to implement it now. I need to hand over this activity to other developers. But my program should not throw any exception. So if I try to run this, the program now, it is saying that indentation error expected an indented block after first statement on the line 70. That means at least one statement you need to define. Normally, at least one statement is nothing but print, which you can define it. But a print, if you define it, it is going to write to the console, right? Or if you are going to use the loggers, it is going to write to the files. But even we don't want that statement. So how do we handle this case? So I need to leave like this, but my program has to be executed. Now it is throwing that the error. So what is the keyword that we can use? It is pause keyword. So if I use the pause keyword, so is it going to do anything? No, it is not doing anything. But actually for block or if block or while block, if you define is nothing but at least one statement you need to define, at least one. Then only that block of the statement is going to accepting by the interpreter. But here I didn't define that at least statement, any statement. I don't have no any plan, I don't have anything. I would like to define this later. I would like to implement this logic later. Or I need to hand over this block of the code to the other developers. So if you have that kind of the scenario, what you can do that, or what is the keyword we can use it in the iterations, the pass. Even we can use it this one in if else blocks also. Are you clear about this pause keyword? Yeah, so this is one important thing. So some cases is that's going to helping that the pause option. Now let's move into that some more functions which are from that for loop. That is about JIP. We have that range already we just discussed. A range of that like numbers to define it. But let me talk it this next. JIP is one more function which is available. So we can say this is the function, JIP function. So what is the JIP function and when do we use it? What is the normally JIP? What does it do that? What the JIP will do that? Suppose let me define two lists here. This is my one list. So this can be applied especially on the collection objects. JIP is like as a compression, right? It is going to save the disk space. Normally, why do we do that? The JIPing are tar files. In the Linux, we have the tar mechanism. On the Windows system, we have the JIP mechanism. So what do we do that normally? So that will be helpful like a compression and as well as archiving. So compression is yes, like so if you have this multiple files where you can do that, the size, I mean, that is, you can save the disk space of it. And archive is, yes, you have this two or more files, all the files you can archive it, that is group it. So like this, now I have the two lists. One is with the number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many cities here? 6 cities, right? Okay. So here, this is one list and this is another list. So I would like to combine these two lists. When do we use the JIP? If you have the two or more files, then we to combine it or to archive it, we use the JIP mechanism. The same thing here also in the Python program, it has been given the JIP function. If you have this multiple lists, if you would like to make it as a one list with all the list, then you can use the JIP option. But how to use that? Let me show that. So JIP is the function. Yes, you see that here, the JIP built-in function, the where you can pass that list of all items. Yeah, what is that? First, I would like to pass that this list, comma, and my top cities list. So actually, if I try to print this, let's observe that the print, what's going to happen that, and observe that output. What exactly is done is, it is trying to showing that object, how it is stored. These two lists in the memory. This is the memory reference. Suppose you have the zip file, that is .zip file. But if you like to see the content, how do you see this the contents of it? We need to extract it, right? But here, how do we extract it? So we know that's the concept of it for loop using that and getting the all the items in. Now I'm going to use it, this zip function. Now if I try to print the item, I'm going to getting from the zip. So zip contains so many items. Now we have saved those two list related items in the one zip. Now that zip, I am unpacking that. Or what you can do instead of defining the two times, what I can do, I can take this one variable combined items. Then I can use this if function here instead of defining there are multiple places. Here I am trying to print that, the zip directly. And here I'm going to try to iterate that zip. Is it clear about this? If I try to run this program, items, okay. Let me define item itself. Now you see this how it is packed. Packing, the zip is packed now, this two lists. You see that, yes, this is object in the memory. Okay, I'm going to comment this one, I don't need that. Let me run it fresh. But second, the print output that is in the iteration, you see this first, it is mapped to the second list, that is Mumbai. So this is the item from the first list, and this is the item from the second list. So these are all in that. In which index number? That is 0th index number in the zip. That is a combined items. Is it a tuple or is it like a dictionary? Or is it like a list? Combined items. That item, what it is doing that? It is returning the each item in the format of the tuple. Yesterday we were talking about it. How to unpack it? The tuple or a dictionary. Dictionary is also returning in the format of tuple, right? Yeah, now you see this, it is combined two lists, whatever we have zipped it. So one mapping with the first item of this, the first list mapped to that first item of the second list. Second item of the first list is mapped to that second item of the second list. 3 is mapped to the Chennai, 4 is mapped to the Delhi, 5 is mapped to the Hyderabad. You see that? All this output we got it. Now if I need that index number, so now I have the two columns. So this is the one column in one list, and this is another column in another list. I'm combining that these two columns. Are you getting the points about it? Suppose I have this one more list which is on the population. Population of this city is like that. In Mumbai, how many? Okay, so let me put like okay, 3 lakhs. Bangalore, 2 lakhs. Chennai, okay, let's take it 1 lakh. And Delhi, something 4 lakhs. Then Hyderabad, 1.5 lakhs. Or Pune, 1 lakh. Yeah, now I have this like one more list. It is kind of one more column, right? So this is this index number. This is about cities and the cities related population. Now if I use the zip and if I add this population, now I'm going to get it, how I'm going to get it thus, that output. You see thus it is combined. So whenever you are working with that large database objects, data sets, and you got it like a different list of the different columns, if you'd like to combine it, how you can combine it? Have got this example? Have understand this, the importance of the zip? Now these are all like from the first list. And the second column or second item in this tuple, that is from the second list. This is from the third. We know that how do we unpack this one, right? Now if I would like to print it, how do I do that? This is serial number, comma, city, comma, population. Then I can use it. Serial number here. And the print of, or in the single number, let me do that. Space, comma, then city, comma, then some space between that, comma, and then population. I see this, we get that good result. 1 Mumbai, 3 lakhs. 2 Bangalore, 2 lakhs. 3 Chennai, 1 lakh. You got that good output, right? So next to data collection objects, whenever you are working with that, so the database contains the data you need to read it and you need to do some operations. Maybe sorting options, maybe like, yes, combining that with the different columns. So then those cases, the GP is going to help in that. But suppose if you have those like unmatched items, so here I have the 7 and 8, but we have the 6 cities and those 6 cities related to population only. But here the numbers list, serial number, it is defined at 7, 8 also. So what's going to happen just now? Is it going to successful or failure? Yes, if I try to run that, it is successful, but it has been taken that up to matching all the 3 columns. Now it has been taken that only 6 items. But here 7 and 8 is not matched to this list or not matched to this list. That means this has been skipped. It is not done that zip. If that are all the 3 items are matched in this list, suppose here you have defined only 2. Or suppose you have this, yes, you have defined that only 2 countries or 2 cities population. Sorry, 2 cities. Yeah, now you are getting that only 2 because it is matched that only 2 in all the 3 lists. That means this is the cleaning of wrong data, right? So you are cleaning. So you have that's like all the matching information which are only that accurate results you are taking that. Yes. You have the city with the population, that is actual, the list you are planning to prepare it. But the population is not defined for these remaining cities. If the population is not defined, is nothing but that is invalid data. What is the need of that taking those cities from that list? So wrong data we have that, but I need that accurate data. How to get it accurate data from the list? Simple zip it with the possible combination. So GP is returning that this. So what is this type? If you observe that, let me show this. What is the type it is going to return that? So it is unexpected identity saying that's type. So it is actually the memory representation. So memory object. But the beauty for loop is going to do that internally with the pointers. That's memory object. And it is going to try to identify that in that memory, what all the data we have, that data it is taking, and it is going to try to iterate it. Yeah, there is no specific type of the data in the memory. Whenever it stores, it is storing like as a one pointer. Maybe if you know that the C program, the memory pointer, how do we have this? That's the mechanism it is using that. Are you clear at this point? Are you good? Is it interesting? Yeah, these are all like a real time that will be helpful. You need to have the grip on this list, dictionaries, tuple, string, the for loops, while loops, data manipulation activities. These are all like. So if you're going to attend the interview or if you're going to write that like any tests on the Python, most stop the questions which belong to that iterations with the collection objects. Are you clear these points? Let me conclude that with one more function about all these iterations. That is enumerate. So what this enumerate is going to do that? This is the example of that zip. So next one more function which we have, this is enumerate. This is also function. There are not keywords. Before we were talking that the pause is one keyword, break, continue. These are all the keywords. The for loop, while loop. But we have this one more thing that is about. Let me take it this list. I need the top cities from here to here. So enumerate is also like as a zip. But what is the difference? Let's try to understand it. Suppose I have the only top cities. So I have this the only top cities list, but I would like to assign this index number for it. Normally index number, we were using that, assign serial number to assign that. We are using a separate one more list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that list we have defined. That list we are using that here. But I don't want to define the separate list for that. I would like to automatically assign that index numbers, Mumbai is 1, Bangalore is 2, Chennai is 3, like that. As a number of items which we have, it has to be assigned that serial numbers or the index numbers for this list. So what is the function that we can use it? Yeah, we can use it, enumerate. Stop saying that, okay. Directly use it that. Let me use it here directly. So what is the function we are going to use it here? Enumerate. So this is a function. And here you can pass the list over here, top cities. So this is the list. I'd like to pass it. But I would like to print item from this where we don't have all these properties. Let me try to print the item. Per item in enumerate top cities. So we're just using that enumerate and we'll see this what's going to happen. Let me try to run this. So what is that output? I mean, here I have commented, right? Lines. Okay, so this one also. Anyway, here we are doing that pause. We are not doing any activity. Fine. Any other statements which have been enabled? No. Good. So only this block. Let me rerun it once again. Okay, now you see this. It is started that like automatically assigning that index number. In the zip, we were using the two lists to combine that. It is not generating that index numbers on the base of the list of items which you have in this list. But enumerate, if I use it, it is already assigned that index number itself is the serial number. So here, serial number is index number itself. 0 it has been started and it has been ended up to 5. But we have the total 6 items. But what is my requirement? I have this is I need to start from 1. Actually, we are using that here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6, like that. So here I need to use the same thing. Then how do I use it that? In the enumerate, we have this one more argument. From where do you want to start that index? Yes, now if I say this 1, you see that I got it automatically. 1 Mumbai, 2 Bangalore, 3 Chennai, 4 Delhi, 5 Hyderabad, and 6 Pune. So automatically, if you like to assign this index numbers to the list of all the elements, then you can use the enumerate. But if you'd like to combine this, you have this like a different list, and if you'd like to combine that mapping of items of the list, then you can use the zip. Are you clear about these functions? Enumerate, zip, range, they're all the functions. And keywords, pause, break, continue. And for loop, while loop. The syntax is remembering. If you are good with these things, so you are good on this iteration section. And if a block, else block, nested if else blocks, how do we define it? And a logical operators to define the conditions. That is, we are understanding less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, equals, not keyword, true keyword, false keyword, and keyword, or keyword. Those are all the keywords on the logical operator side. Yes, if you go to the logical operators, yes, there are all the things mainly we are talking about it that. And Boolean operators, true or false. Are you good on this control flow? Any queries, questions, please let me know. Very, very important and interesting. If you know these basic things, if you have that like the strong on these examples, then you can do that like miracle in this the Python. Whether you are going to work it on the data science side or the generative AI or like machine learning or AI or AWS infra management, wherever you have the Python code, all that shit has been built on top of these collection objects itself. Collection objects, control flow. So that's why data types are the very, very important. And control flow, for loops, while loops, understanding, and the keywords using that, functions using. In the dictionary, we discussed some functions yesterday, like how to get the keys, how to get the values, how do we get the items, which is in the format of the tuple. Yeah, this weekend try to complete all these exercises and get ready for Monday to discuss that on like a functions. We go for that. Next, another important concept, functions. Later we have that some concepts on the modules. Yes, modules also very, very important. You should know that. How do we import the modules from the module? How do you import the particular function? How do we define about the custom libraries? Yeah, these are all like which you are talking, trying to understand as per the certification program. The PCEP and PCAP, two certificates we are trying to cover in that. Okay, good. That's all from my side. How do you feel that on this programming? Are you improving? Anyone non-IT background? Okay, I got this response. Awesome. Good. Thank you. Awesome explanation. Yes, I'm good. Quickly, how you are improving that on this program? Program is one of the important skill for the next generation. If you would like to dream about your IT job. Yes, sir, it is so helpful and improving myself a lot. Okay, that's great. Good news. I came from non-IT, so but I'm able to learn easy way. Good, really good. Yeah, keep on do this more the exercises. So I'm taking the time. Why I'm taking the time? I can close it like for loop while loop in one class. I can close it. Not a big deal. But after explaining that concept, I'm coming up with that, giving that one more example on it. That is taking that more time. Suppose here while loop we discussed, then why again I need to discuss this statement? I don't need that. I can go ahead to this next another example, this scenario. For loop, how do you print it? The same while loop. But this was taken almost 5 to 6 minutes. I can save the time. But you will get the scenario of it. Scenario of that. So exactly, yes. So where do we use it? That like iterations and how that can be controlled, that while loops, how it is working internally. To understand that with the different examples. Yeah, take it all these examples and use it and try to complete that by this weekend, all the exercises. And Monday we will meet it and we'll continue with that, the functions, and then we have the modules and concepts. We'll come back for that. Yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you everyone. Enjoy the programming, love the programming. While working with that, don't take it in the hard way. So take it in that like a more enjoyment way. So run the program and see that output and how it is given that and what you had done the mistake. So what you expected that output and what is that output you got it, just to compare with that. And if that expected output and got that output both of the same, hooray, you got it. Feel like that. And if it is something wrong, okay, so what you have done that mistake, by understanding that interpreter, try to refer that the code and try to run 2 or 3 times and analyze that output and the block of the statements which are implemented, then definitely you see that automatically improving on the programming side. So it is not like as a rocket science, but how you are taking that, that's the initiation, and as well as about your mindset and about your time, how you are going to spend it on that. All these points will be helpful to become that zero to hero on this programming. Are you clear? Are you good? Type the good, then we'll wind up for this week. Good. Very good. Thank you all. Okay, so I'm going to log off for today. We'll meet on Monday. So try to complete all the revisions of the Linux. And if you have completed AWS, and Python. Thank you all.